Good morning and welcome to this week's beginner series. If you missed the previous video and you're watching this on YouTube, you can check the playlist segment and you'd find it there. I'm not sure how long this video will be. I mean, the previous video ran quite longer than usual, and so it will be going up on LinkedIn. My plan for LinkedIn actually is to do a personal finance series side by side with TikTok from Monday. So you'll be having maybe shorter videos there, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10-minute videos, uh, and the like. So that's what I plan to do for LinkedIn. I discuss more about that on Monday. So let's get right into this. What are financial statements? Financial statements are a written record of a company's financial position at a point in time. Who are the users of financial statements? You have investors, people who are currently invested in a business, people who are interested in investing in a business. In order to ascertain the financial health, the financial standing of a company, you have to go through its financial statements. Then you have professionals who work in the finance space, research analysts in the equity space like myself, who either for your 9 to 5 job assigned by your boss, or if you run a research firm for companies say listed on the NGX, or popular companies, or even companies people are interested in that are in private markets, you can go through the financials available and then make up your opinions on them. You also have investment bankers. So if a company needs to raise money or any kind of financial structuring and all that, they would use the financial statements. Tax practitioners, whether it's in-house tax personnel, whether it's government tax personnel, they need financial statements. And then broadly, the government and different agencies of government. Governments tend to tax, tend to regulate companies, and so they are interested in the financial statements. So anybody who's interested in a company can access them. Now, a listed company is one that is on a stock exchange. In some climes like the UK, you have the company registry, I believe, where a company is private, but you can still access some of its financial statements as if you're a member of the public. Now, to the Qs and Ks, financial statements are released every quarter. A quarter is 3 months. So that means you have 4 quarters in a year. Now, most companies run their financial year from January to December. A few companies tend to have a different start and end month. I believe companies in the tech space, for instance, I think Microsoft doesn't run a usual financial year. Let me just see if I can access that. That's the thing about writing and presenting. Presenting tends to give you more insight. But I'll start with the NGX. Learn Africa. I know all the companies in the publishing space tend to have their financial year, I believe, starting in March. So you have your Learn Africa, your University Press, and Academy Press. Those are the three players in that space. So it doesn't matter. Not all companies run a January to December financial year. A company can do March to March and the like. So let me just confirm. Network is a bit slow. Let me just confirm. I like to be as accurate, more so because this is a beginner series. You want to be as accurate as possible. But I believe the financial year runs in March. Red Star Express as well. I think Red Star's financial year also runs. Let me use Red Star, or let me use Len. Len is closer at hand. Um, let's see when he runs. So there are 4 quarters in a year, and most companies tend to run their financial year from January to December. So that means on the fourth month, which is the month after a quarter has ended, that is typically when you get a company's financial year and all that. So I'm looking at Len. Len's financial years starts in April. So I think I should actually, let's say April. Yeah, it's April. So let me see if I can amend this to read April. Um, yeah. So Len's financial year starts in April. let's present and it's easier to in April, right? Because what I'm having here is the financial year starts to start in April. If I learned a few weeks ago, just drop it. So starts in April, then obviously means April, May, June, July. That's April, May, June will be Q1. July, August, September, Q2. October, November, December, Q3, and then January, February, March, Q4. So you can say that the financial year ends in March, or it runs from April to March, right? So the financial year, the publishing space, and different companies, they would always state it, so you can always check those as well. Now, as I said, and using a company that runs the usual calendar, January to December, first 3 months of the company's financial year, Q1, quarter one, January to March, and next 3 months, April to June. And so if you take Q1 and Q2, you have H1, the first half of the company's financial year. Q3, for a regular 12-month January, December calendar, Q3 will be July, August, September. Now, if you add Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3, you get the first 9 months. While Q4, last 3 months of a company's financial year, and that usually runs from October to November. Now, if you take the four Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, you have the full year financial statements. Now, in the US, I think it was something I was supposed to add here. Okay, yeah, we're good. I'll come back to that. Now, in the US, you have your 10Ks, your Qs, and 8Ks. The 10K is annual report filed by a company with SEC. The 10Q is a quarterly report filed by a company with SEC, while 8K is any other disclosure. So what are audited financial statements? Audited financial statements are those that have been evaluated by an independent accounting firm and certified free of errors according to accounting standards such as GAAP or FIRS. Now, companies usually audit their financial statements at the end of the financial year, or in some cases, they audit at the end of the first half, especially if you want to pay a dividend. In financial services space, for instance, typically in Nigeria, they tend to audit half year and all that, especially if you're paying a dividend. But you're free to audit at any point in time. Now, when a set of results are audited, it is clearly stated. Where can you access financial statements? You have the NGX corporate disclosure page, and if you just Google NGX corporate disclosure, you'd find it. You have company websites. While for the US, you have the Edgar SEC, I think Edgar database. So if you Google US Edgar database, you'd find it, as well as company websites. So next week, we'll be walking through the 4 basic financial statements: the balance sheet, the income statement, the cash flow statement, and the statement of shareholders' equity. Some people will call that the statement of retained earnings. What else is coming up today? I promised I was going to do episodes on Spotify, on CrowdStrike and New Holdings. Two great firms. CrowdStrike numbers were out sometime this week. New Holdings, I think, had their numbers out last week or last 2 weeks. I don't have it offhand. And I'll also have some episodes on companies on the NGX. To get to listen on Spotify, you have all the Spotify links, all the links in my bios. I mean, wherever you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on what's it called, on YouTube, you can find the links in my profile page on my bio. I don't know yet if this will go on LinkedIn. I'm not decided yet, honestly, but it's highly unlikely. But never say never. So before you go, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Please do so if you find this content useful. Any questions, you can drop in the comment section. You can also send an email to info@greenticketdeals.com. So thank you all for listening, and have yourselves a great day ahead.